So hello children, how are you? I hope you all are studying well. So children, in the last chapter, we learnt about clauses. So now we are going to talk about adverb clauses. Alright, in this chapter. So hello kids. An adverb clause is a subordinate clause which performs the function of an adverb or an adverb phrase in a sentence. It generally modifies a verb. So we all know that adverbs, they modify the verb or they modify the adjective or they modify another adverb. So when in this chapter we are going to talk about adverb clauses, they are also going to modify a verb. So generally that is the purpose of adverb clauses. Alright. So an adverb clause is very much like an adverb and it tells us when, where, why or how someone did something. So adverb clauses, they are introduced by subordinating conjunctions. For example, मतलब adverb clauses क्या होते हैं? वो clauses वो होते हैं कि जो verb को modify करते हैं, okay? और वो हमें ये बताते हैं कि when, where, why और how किसी ने कुछ किया, okay? The reason for them to do that. So here we are saying he had left before I arrived, okay? Shivam came after sunset. Shivam came soon after the doctor had gone. तो यहाँ पे आप देखोगे I arrived after sunset and soon after the doctor had gone. So in sentences में ये जो colored portion है ये सारे adverbs है, okay? As they work as adverbs. All of them, they answer the question when. Okay? So he had left before I arrived. So when did he leave? Before I arrived. Shivam came after sunset. When did Shivam come? After the sunset. तो यहाँ पे question कौन सा आंसर हुआ है? When. In sentence 1, the word before is an adverb of time. हमने ये पूरा adverb की chapter में किया है. Different types of adverbs, time, place, manner, okay, degree. So in this sentence 2, the word after sunset makes an adverbial phrase. तो एक अलग से phrase बन गया. अगर आप बोलोगे Shivam came after sunset, then it makes a complete sense here. In sentence 3, the clause soon after the doctor had gone is an adverb clause because it has a subject doctor and a verb had gone. Okay, so what happens is adverb clauses, they can take place in the beginning of a sentence or they can be in the middle of a sentence, that is rarely it happens, and in the last or final position. So it means that they can precede or follow the main clause. Now, let's look at the different kinds of adverb clauses. The first one is the adverb clause of time. So adverb clause of time answers the question, time मतलब question होते हैं हमारे generally when, okay? So it answers the question when an action takes place and it is introduced by a subordinate conjunction. Okay, so these subordinate conjunctions, they include before, after, as, till, until, whenever, while, as long as or since, as soon as, always, never, once, etc. Now let's look at the examples. As soon as I reached the station, the train whistled. She left for school after she had taken her breakfast. Once we left for school, mother would go to office. She waited till the train arrived at the platform. Whenever I requested her to stay with me, she always denied. The patient had died before the doctor arrived. Don't stop until you reach the next red light. In these sentences, you see the parts that are in color, they are all the adverb clause of time. So, ये हमें verb के बारे में, जो action हुई है, उसके बारे में ज़्यादा information दे रहे. Okay, for example, जब हम बोलते हैं the train whistled. So, हम यहाँ पे बोल रहे हैं कि as soon as I reached the station, जैसे ही मैं station पहुँच गया, वैसे ही the train whistled. So, it was all set to leave. So the action was going to happen immediately, okay, and I reached just in time. So when did she leave for school? After she had taken her breakfast. Okay, so now in all these clauses, they are answering the question when. Okay, so when you ask the patient died, okay, so when did the patient die? The patient had died before the doctor arrived. Okay, now let's be smart and do this exercise. Fill in each blank with correct adverb clause choosing from the box. One has been done for you. My mother, when she saw my sister looking worried, tried to cheer her up. My father wants to continue working. Okay, so you have all these options. Now let's see why my father wants to continue working. Okay, as the child got older, or is it while we were on leave? As long as he finds his work challenging. So we can say my father wants to continue working as long as he finds his work challenging. Alright, our children played on the beach. Okay, when she saw my sister looking worried? No, that is not the thing. When they were attacked by some pirates, while I was at work, while we swam in the sea, when the time comes, as soon as he joins the school, or is it till we return from the wedding? So the answer can be, our children played on the beach while we swam in the sea. Alright, so children, like this, analyze each sentence and you will get the answer. Okay, you have to relate your answer to the remaining sentence which is there. Alright, next. Now let's look at adverb clauses of manner. Now, adverb clause of manner answers the question how, okay, or in what manner some action is done. So they are telling about us, they are talking about the manner in which the action is done. So it is introduced by subordinates such as if, like, or the way. So my mother looked as if she was sick. Okay, she was sick. Rekha enjoys dancing like her mother did. As we had desired, all the tickets were sold. The principal was annoyed with the way the student talked. As if is common especially after verbs such as looks, sounds, seem and feel. So when we use these words like looks, sounds, seem on and feels, तो उसके साथ हम लोग as if ज़्यादा करके use करते हैं. So sometimes even when verbs such as seem, feel and play are in the present tense, the verbs after as if are used in the past tense. Generally हम लोग बोलते वक्त आप देखोगे कि we talk more, okay, using the past tense, especially when we are talking about something to someone. So this construction is used while talking about something that is not real. For example, her mother treats Seema as if she were a small child. So whereas she is a married woman now. So ये real नहीं है, but it is just a feeling that a mother has, that for a mother her child is always small. So that is why she treats her like a small child only, even if that child of hers is now married. We do not use what or how after as in adverbial clause. For example, we have begun working as how you suggested. No. It will be we have begun working as you suggested. Okay. So how word यहाँ पे नहीं आता. Now let's complete the following sentences correctly with the adverb clauses given below. Okay. The villagers voted. Okay. Now as they were told to by their boss, like his father used to, in the way some brilliant children are, as other young ones of animals do, the way I read it, as it occurred, as only he could. So, यहाँ पे हम बोल सकते हैं, okay, the first one, the villagers voted as they were told to by their boss. Okay, the tiger cubs like to play as other young ones of animals do. Okay, now we are narrating the incident, or we can say as it occurred. Alright, so this is how you have to gauge what is going to be the following phrase. Alright, now next let's look at the adverb clause of place. Adverb clause of place answers the question where. So it can indicate the position at a place and also movement to a place. So it is introduced by subordinates such as where and wherever. For example, so when generally we are talking about a place, like when you have a conversation with your friends, आप पूछते हैं ना where should we go? So हम लोग जब भी place के बारे में बात करते हैं, we use the term where or wherever. Okay. So she sat where her brother was sleeping. The students went wherever the teacher took them. Now, the पहला वाला जो है वो है position. It is telling the position where she sat. फिर second movement के बारे में. Third is the police inspector headed to where the accident had taken place. So, that is a movement from one place to another. Now, complete the following sentences with the adverb clauses of place given below. He went to the studio, okay, where I can relax, wherever she goes, wherever they can find food, where the cost of a passport size photograph was nominal, where no one can find them, wherever it was possible, wherever there are computers, and where the accident had taken place. So, we can say, he went to the studio where the cost of a passport size photograph was nominal. Okay, dash, there are people who are addicted to the internet. So, here we can say, wherever there are computers, there are people who are addicted to the internet. Okay. So, children, likewise, you have to do the following sentences. Okay. You already have the clues, but you have to analyze the other portion of the sentence and then fill the right clause. Clear? Now, let's look at the adverb clause of reason. Okay. So, reason answers the question why. Okay. क्यों कोई चीज हुई है. Okay. Why something has happened. So, adverb clause of reason answers the question why in relation to the situation in the main clause. This clause is introduced with subordinate conjunctions such as since, so that, because, as, due to, etc. The adverb clause as or since is mostly used in the beginning of a sentence. Since I could not get good marks, I joined a coaching class. As I had to go to Mumbai, I got my seats reserved in the Shatabdi Express. I was not allowed to enter the gate because I had not enrolled for the show. Please speak slowly so that I may understand you clearly. So, we are giving a reason when we are talking about something. Like पहले हम लोग बता रहे कि मैंने coaching class क्यों join किया. So, we are giving a reason saying that since I did not get good marks. Okay. Now, complete the following sentences with subordinates because, since, so that or due to. जैसे आपने देखा कि ये adverb clauses of reason generally, okay, most of the time they are at the beginning of the sentence, but they can fall in the middle as well. So, he left his job dash he had not been promoted. Okay, he left his job, we can say because he had not been promoted. Speak slowly and clearly so that they may understand you easily. Clear? So, ऐसे ही you can repeat those same words in the other sentences also, and you have to put them wherever they are applicable. Clear? I hope all these concepts are clear to you, and you have to remember the questions. Okay, for each adverbial clauses, you have to remember the questions so you know what is going to be the clause. Alright? Now, let's talk about adverb clause of purpose and result. Okay, now these also, they also answer the question why, purpose, क्यों. Okay, subordinates such as in order that, so that, in case, because, and for fear that, etc. are used to indicate the purpose. So, जैसे why के लिए हम लोग use करते हैं since, so that, because, as, due to, etc. यहाँ पे when we are talking about purpose, we have questions like in order that, so that, in case, because, and for fear that. Okay. Now, she worked hard so that she could get good marks. He studied hard because he wanted to become an engineer. Now, the adverb clause of result answers the question what happened, क्या हुआ. Okay. So, it tells us about the result of the action. So, action का जो result होता है वो बताते हैं. Subordinates such as therefore, such, that, so thus, etc. They are used to indicate the result. Okay. He was such a good friend that I could not avoid him. We ate so much ice cream that we started feeling ill. In the adverb clause of result, so and that can be separated. So or such plus adjective or adverb in the main clause plus that to introduce the subordinate clause. So, here we are saying the gate was so small that the camel could not enter it. So, we are describing the gate here. We are saying that the gate was so small, which is the adjective, that the camel could not enter it. So, now let's join the following pair of sentences using so that and such that. It was such a boring program, we left in the middle of it. So, here we can say it was such a boring program that we left in the middle of it. She speaks English very well. One would think it is her mother tongue. Okay. She speaks English so very well that one would think it is her mother tongue. Alright. So, likewise, quickly do the following sentences. They are pretty easy and I am sure you all can do it. Okay. The next one, underline the adverb clauses and write whether they are adverb clauses of time, place, manner, purpose, result or reason. The bag was so heavy that the girl could not carry it. So, this can be the reason why she was not able to carry the bag. Okay. So, यहाँ पे clause क्या हो जाता है? हो जाता है the bag was so heavy that the girl could not carry it. Okay. I postponed my touring as my best friend arrived to me. Okay. To meet me. So, here we are giving a reason again. Okay. We are telling the purpose of cancelling the trip. Okay. So, I postponed my touring as my best friend arrived to meet me. So, यहाँ पे my best friend arrived to meet me आ जाता है आपका clause और ये हो जाता है the purpose for cancelling the trip. Okay. Now, quickly do the remaining ones. Next one. Join the following pairs of sentences using subordinate conjunctions given in the brackets. Okay. Now, you have the conjunction because. Put on your school uniform. It is a part of rules of the school. Put on your school uniform because it is a part of rules of the school. She speaks French well. She has been living in France for the past 5 years. Okay. So, we can say since she has been living in France for the past 5 years, she speaks French very well. Alright. You can begin the sentence also with since. Clear? Now, likewise do the remaining sentences. They are pretty easy. All that you need to do, you have to think logically and see where you can put the sentences. And before answering all these exercises, you remember what I have told you to do always. You have to reread the chapter. Only after you reread the chapter, you will be able to answer the questions for the clauses and apply the right clauses and pick up the right clauses. At the same time, you can describe which type of clause it is based on rereading the chapter and doing a quick revision of the chapter before attempting the exercise. Now, quickly do it and start answering the exercises.